Okay, we're going to go ahead and solve some homework exercises from section 10.6. This video is going to start with homework exercise number 10. We need to find the side of length C, the hypotenuse of the right triangle. Before we do this, just as a reminder, you've got to have your calculator in degree mode. So if you're using an TI-84 or 83, you have to go ahead and hit the mode button, which is next to the second there, or alpha, from alpha up 1/1 mode. Hit mode and you should have this screen that appears on your calculator. And if radian is highlighted, then you need to highlight degree. So you need to go use the down arrow twice, and then you need to use the right arrow once, and then you should have degree blinking. Hit enter to save that, and now we have it in degree mode. Degree mode should be darkened and blinking. And there you go. That should do it for you. You should be in degree mode. And then you can just hit the second key in the mode, which gets you out of the mode function and back into the regular mode of the calculator. All right, let's go ahead and do problem number 10. We have, with respect to the 29-degree angle, acute angle here, angle A, we have the side that is opposite because it's away from it, and we have the side missing C is the hypotenuse because it's opposite the right angle. The opposite and the adjacent sides form the right angle, and opposite is the hypotenuse. The trig function that involves opposite over hypotenuse is the sine. So we're going to use the sine. The angle we're using is 29 degrees, is equal to the side opposite A over, the side opposite A, which is equal to 19 meters, okay, over the hypotenuse, which is C, which we need to solve. So there's a setup of our equation. Now we need to solve for C. You can go ahead, since it's in the denominator, you can go ahead and multiply both sides of the equation by C. The C's cancel on the right side, and we get C times the sine of 29 degrees is equal to 19. Now, since sine of 29 is just one value, you can divide both sides of the equation by sine of 29 degrees. These two values are equal, so you just get 1. So 1 times C is C, so C is 19 divided by the sine of 29 degrees. So you got a couple of algebra steps there, okay, in order to solve for C, and you end up with 19 is in the numerator. So that's going to be 19 divided by the sine of 29 degrees, okay? That's how we'll put it in the calculator, okay? So we'll go ahead and do that now on our calculator. And we get 19 divided by the sine of 29 degrees, right paren, and we get our answer 39.1. Rounded to the nearest whole number. Since there's a 1 in the tenths, we would keep it rounded at 39. We would not add 1. Just leave it alone. And the units are in meters. The one side is given in meters. These are all lengths of a side. So it's just a unit to the first power. And there, indeed, is our correct answer. Okay, now we need to use the inverse trig functions to find the angle. Okay, we need to find angle A, which is right here. With respect to angle A, this side, the 20 meters, is a leg, and it's opposite because it's not next to, and the 32 is opposite the right angle, so it's the hypotenuse. The trig function that involves the opposite and the hypotenuse is the sine, right? Sine is, remember, so, ka, toa. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. Okay? So that's how I remember sine. So sine of angle A is equal to the side opposite, 20 over 32. So now what you do is you got to apply the inverse. To solve for A, you do the inverse sine of the quotient or the fraction 20 over 32. You can just do the division sign. Okay? So the sine of A is equivalent to A being the inverse sine of A being 20 over 30 is equivalent to the sine inverse is 20 over 32. Notice the sine inverse is in blue on the sine key, so you'll hit the second key and then the sine to get the sine inverse. Second and then sine, okay, and then you put in 20 divided by 32 and you'll get the measure of the angle, okay? So let's go ahead and do that on our calculator. Okay, so we have second sine, there's your inverse sine, the minus to the -1 power really is not a -1, it's an inverse. Then 20 divided by 32, you can just put it as a division. You need to have your right paren because you have two numbers, and then you hit enter, and the angle is 38.68. Again, rounded to the nearest whole number, so the 0.6 in the tenths, we would add 1, and we would get 39 degrees. The degrees is there, so all you got to do is put in the value 39, and MyMathLab will mark it correct. Okay, problem number 12, another inverse trick on your calculator. Find the measure of angle A. Angle A is right here. With respect to angle A, the 31 is next to it. Part of it forms a right angle, so it's the adjacent side. 37 is opposite the right angle, so that is the hypotenuse. So again, the trig function involving adjacent and hypotenuse is the cosine. So cosine of angle A, we're missing it, right, is the side adjacent 31 over 37. So that's equivalent to saying that A is equal to the inverse cosine of 31 over 37. So again, the second key and then the cosine will give us the cosine inverse, and we'll put in 31 second cosine and then 31 divided by 37 and a right paren. Okay? And that will give us a measure of the angle in degrees. Okay, so second cosine for cosine inverse, 31 divided by 37, right paren, hit enter, 33.08, rounded to the nearest whole number. So 0.0, we would keep it at 33, so to the nearest whole number, 33, and the degree is already there, so all you need to do is put in 33. Okay, let's look at number 13. We have the length, the measure of length x to the nearest whole number. Now notice, x is going to be this length right here and this length right there added together. This length we can find using this, the top right triangle, correct? 35 degrees, this is the side opposite, and the 531 is the side next to it, which is the adjacent. So what we can do is we can do opposite over adjacent is the tangent. So tangent of 35 degrees is equal to the side opposite. So that's the one of the sides we got to find. So we'll call it A over the opposite over adjacent, which is 531. So then A is going to equal, multiply both sides by 531. So that cancels here. So A is equal to 531 times the tangent of 35 degrees. And that will give us this part, and then we're going to do this part and add them together to get the total, right? So the first one we got is 531 times the tangent of 35 degrees. Okay, so we'll do that. 531 times the tangent of 35 degrees, and we get 371.8. Let's keep that. This is going to be 371.8. We'll round to the nearest tenth and we'll add them, and then we'll round off to the nearest whole number. So make sure 371.8. We'll keep it on our calculator. All right, now we got to find this side. We'll call it B. Again, the lower right triangle, we've got opposite, the angle's 24. Opposite the angle, here's a right angle here because there's a right angle, because they form they're supplementary, they form a straight line. So this is the opposite side, and again, 531 would be the adjacent. So the trig function involving opposite over adjacent is tangent. This time we're working with the lower triangle. Tangent of 24 degrees is B over 531. So multiply by 531, and we get B is equal to 531 times the tangent of 24 degrees. Okay? So we'll do that on our calculator to get the bottom part of that, of the B, the bottom part of that, all the way of those two triangles added together. So we'll do 531 times tangent, this time the lower part, the angle is 24 degrees, and we get 236.4. So this right here is 236.4. This we got was what? 371.8. So all the way from there to there, we're going to add these two together, right? Add them together, and that will be the length of x. So we've got 236.4 added with 371.8. Add with the 371.8. We get 608.2. So rounded to the nearest whole number, x. Both of these sides added together will be approximately 608. And that is indeed the correct answer. Okay, we're going to stop this session here. If you have any questions, send me an email through the Canvas course in the FSW portal, or call me at 239-938-7805. Thank you.